morning, gang, and welcome to Tuesday Night Live here at Reach On Air.
Chris Reardon, Tuesday night, Reach On Air.
I do think we should all sort of get together and sing that somehow. Or perhaps you could just send me your little audio clip and I could sort of mix it all together. I can't believe it. You've already got a text tonight from the delightful Mark Bowles. You must be sitting here with it in your hand. You know, wait, a cup of tea in your hand. You know, waiting for me to speak to you. Good evening to you, Mark. And welcome along to you on Reach On Air tonight. There wasn't anyone before me. It was just non-stop music, wasn't it? Anyway, it's been quite a nice day here down in the south in Royal Berkshire, boys and girls. The sun's been out most of the day, a little bit of cloud here and there, but not enough sun to sort of charge my solar battery. We're down to 24%. I'm very concerned that we may have to import some electricity a little later on tonight, in which case I'll just have to cut the show short. You know, we can't afford to be importing electricity from Shell Energy, dear. Don't tell Posh Twink Carl. He'd be very upset if I'm buying anything off the Shell people. All right? If you'd like to join in at any time tonight, it's always very easy, boys and girls. You can send us a message on the Reach On Air message system. Absolutely, it will flash up in front of me. You can send us a message on YouTube or on TikTok, or you can text in. We have a text number 07451 287 337. Mark Bowles is already sending a text today. I mean, you must be desperate there. Thank you very much to you, Mark Bowles. Nice to hear from you this evening. Now, has anyone seen the new Barbie film yet? I've got to be honest, it doesn't really appear to me. Let's just say hello to some of you in the chat box while we're here at the moment. Jason Hughes, Mandy Davenport, head of Pain and Suffering. Good evening to Greg this evening. Thanks for your text there, Greg. Hope you're well as well. Nice to see you, sir. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, so welcome back into our little happy fold of people, Greg. Evening to you, sir. Hello to Gary Ross. He's going to be a bit late, just watching the main event, Butler's Empire. Is that on tonight, then? I didn't know there was a thing on there tonight, actually. I didn't know they were doing one tonight. Thank you, Gary. Sprinter Van Life, good evening from Brixton in Devon. Hello to you. In the Television Southwest area, evening to you. Fran Green, good evening, Fran. Oh, the lovely Jan Gerling. Hello, Jan. You're up, my darling. Nice to see you pop up on here for the first time, Jan. I knew her son. She lost him some years ago, unfortunately. But I knew her son. He used to come in where I used to DJ. I think we met at a place in Earls Court, actually, called Harpo's, which was a great job, although I found it very difficult in there. I found the crowd difficult, and in fact that difficult. I used to go in there smiling, playing the records. I'd go into my car and have a little bit of a cry on the way home. It was so difficult in there. But he was a very good friend to me, your son. There we are, Jan. Thank you, Jan. Nice to pop in there this evening. Lee Gasson there, who's in the Swiss Alps. Are you DJing there at all? Are you DJing in the Swiss Alps? Because it looked like it. You had a pair of headphones. I just saw your picture about 20 minutes or so ago when I was getting ready to do the show tonight. So hello to Lee Gasson. He's in the Swiss Alps. Oh, it's expensive there, isn't it? How much is a pint of lager there? I think you drink lager, didn't you? Or a meal for one, you know, just a normal bog standard meal for one. I heard that Switzerland is particularly expensive there. He says, I'm absolutely soaked, hiking back to the accommodation, and he's still got an hour to go. Oh, my God. Is it pouring down with rain there? I take it you haven't got the hot weather there, then. You're either got the rain that we had on Saturday, or your rain is coming over to us now, I reckon. Yeah, hello to you, Lee. Thanks. Maybe your show will give me inspiration to keep going. I doubt that very much, Lee. Most people put this show on to help them fall asleep. In fact, I put this show on to help me fall asleep sometimes. Hello to you. Hello to Terry H. Evening, Terry H. Oh, God, we're all here today. Hello, Terry. Evening to you. And over on the TikTok there, let's pop over there as well. And we've got Dan Woodhouse. Evening, Dan Woodhouse. And Vera from Vera's Choice in the Morning is with us. Evening to Mr. Built-in Scotland as well. Who else? Is that everyone so far? That's everyone so far. Okay, as people pop up, I'll probably say hello to them. And Darren is sending us a message on the Reach On Air message system. A very good evening to Darren as well, joining us tonight. Don't forget the text number 07451 287 337 is the text. Oh, did you not know how we met? Yeah, I was DJing actually. I was DJing in Earls Court, a place called Harpo's. It was a lovely place, actually, and it used to get packed in it, absolutely packed. And actually, then a group of us, usually, after Saturday night, because I DJ'd in two places on Saturday night, I would be DJing in Harpo's, just trying to think now, actually. I think 7:30 to 10:30. And then I'd hot-foot it in my car from Earls Court over to Putney and DJ'd at a place called Reflex from 11 till, I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And then from there, a large group of us would go to a place called Turnmills Trade. And we'd be there until 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And he was one of those people that came around a couple of times, yeah. There was him... Oh, gosh. There was a boy called Kevin who was quite good friends with Joe, if I remember rightly. Kevin. And there was someone, we used to call her Zelda. Him, Zelda. There was someone called Zelda as well. Do you recall any of those names at all? Kevin and Zelda. Yeah. Yeah, and there were a few others, but they're the only names that I can remember at the moment there. All right. Thank you very much there. Okay, let's do the Barbie thing, because the Barbie film is on at the moment. There's a big thing going on about this. There's that film and Oppenheimer, I think it was. I'm not sure what Oppenheimer's about. It sounds to me like some sort of German war Nazi film. I'm probably completely wrong. I do know the name Oppenheimer, and I mentioned this on the Music and Chat show the other morning, and I still haven't looked it up yet or seen a trailer. They seem to be mainly talking about the Barbie thing, but the two films themselves are supposed to be doing cinemas a good turn, because a lot of these cinemas are on their legs. Last legs. I know that's Cineplex, and they've got quite a few cinemas all over the place. They were in great difficulty a little while ago, and I think they've closed some of them down there. They just don't make money. I saw on the news the other day, or some sort of YouTube video or something, that when you buy that cinema ticket, the cinema doesn't make anything from it. The only thing the cinemas make money from is the food and the drink. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I certainly do my best to avoid buying very overpriced food in cinemas. And you know it is. We've gone here so many times before, like a drink and a hot dog is like 10 quid or something ridiculous like that. And the packets of sweets, you can often get them like for £1.25, on a special offer in the Co-op or Sainsbury's like that. It's like Maltesers or Munchies or the large dairy milk buttons and all that, £1.25. You go in the Odeon in Bracknell, they're a £5. I mean, it's outrageous. And I refuse to buy them, but I don't know how true that is. But these two films they are drawing people into the cinema. Indeed, some people are watching the two films back to back, and they watch one, and then they stay at the cinema and they go and watch the other one. And they're making a lot of money for or at least they're spending a lot more money in the cinemas. I'm not quite sure about that there. Who's texting me there? Oh, look at this. Marks and Spencer's giveaway meal deal for two. Marks and Spencer's giveaway. Why has someone sent me that? I don't buy those pre-packaged meals, do you? You only get a meal in a box and you just put it in a microwave or something. Kelly's just sent me that. Anyone know Kelly? You know Kelly. Anyway, so these two films are supposed to be pulling people in, and I just wondered if any of you had seen Barbie yet, or have any interest in going to see Barbie. Jan says Oppenheimer invented the atom bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, yeah, that makes sense. So he was German, was he? Was he German? I thought it was wasn't it the Americans that dropped that bomb on there? I don't know. And Jan says, Joe told me all about trade, how the sweat used to drip off the ceiling. That's right, Zelda. Yeah, Zelda rings bells. I think he changed into a girl. I think he transitioned into a girl. Zelda. Yeah. But I caught him getting off with a boyfriend I was getting off once, and I never spoke to him again after that. It's one of those things when you're younger. Yeah, that's true about trade. The sweat in there. They eventually had air conditioning put in, which made an enormous difference. Literally, just sort of going off the Barbie thing at the moment. Literally, people would slip over on the stairs there because it was so wet, dripping with sweat off the ceilings. It was quite a nice atmosphere, Jan, though, if you like that sort of thing. Me and Joe did anyway. And everyone else that was around us. Anyway, yeah, so I'm interested in this Barbie thing. Has anyone gone to see it, or will any of you be seeing it? I wonder. Let's have a look there. Vera says it's not my thing. Plastic dolls. No. Dolls are not really my thing either. My sister had dolls. We went down that route the other week, didn't we? I told you I used to push the eyes in on her doll's heads, and she got ever so upset. Dan says, if I had anything to do with dolls, it would be Cindy over Barbie any day. Vera reckons Cindy is a clone. Oh, she was a clone of Barbie. Why Cindy? Why Cindy and not Barbie? There's no blooming difference, is there? There's no difference at all in that, is there? But what do you think on the Barbie? And I do wonder, if you were a Barbie doll, what one would you be? Because there's been so many different Barbie dolls over the years. Will you stop that, Mark? There's been so many Barbie dolls over the years. If you were a Barbie, which Barbie doll would you be? I think I'd be international superstar Barbie. That would be me. You know, my brother-in-law, Martin, most of you watch Martin's YouTube channel, would be DIY Barbie, I think. Eh? My nephew, Gary Butler, some of you watch his channel. Projects Man is his YouTube channel. He would be head of YouTube Barbie. I'd be international megastar Barbie. Which Barbie would you be? Because like I say, there's been a load of Barbies over the years. I've got a Barbie collector's guide thing up in front of me here. 1976. Look at all this. This is just 1 year. This is just 1 year, okay? Beautiful Bride Barbie. Hawaiian Barbie. Sporting Barbie. Straight leg Barbie. I think this particular one had longer legs. Because that was a thing, of course, in the 60s and 70s. Ladies with beautiful long legs, wasn't it? I wonder if you could have them put in, if you haven't got long legs. Could you have them put in? Because I could do, to be honest, with being a little bit taller. You know. The New Look Barbie. There's one there. Ballerina Barbie. Ballerina on Tour Barbie. This is just 1976, this one. Gold medal skater Barbie. I love it. Malibu Barbie. Growing up Barbie. Which one would you be? Deluxe quick curl Barbie. Which Barbie would you be? Or, if you ask me, I'll try and think of a name for you as a Barbie character. And if you want to, you can ring in on this as well. I'll open the phone line right now, okay? Either send us a message on the Reach On Air message system. What Barbie would you be? Or you can text it in on YouTube. Or you can text it in on our text number.
You can send Chris a text message right now on 07451 287 337. 07451 287 337.
Or you can call in. Remember, there's only one line, okay? So if there's someone on the phone and you call in, I won't be able to answer the phone until that person has finished. Just on the subject of the phone, we don't take blocked or anonymous calls. You must send your number, otherwise it gets a bit silly and people just suddenly swear or put the phone down. It's just a bit of a waste of time. So we don't take blocked or anonymous calls. If you want to call in, lines are open now.
Call in now. 020-8144-3477.
Come on, my darling, which Barbie would you be? Shall we have a look at the 1960s Barbies? 020-8144-3477 if you're going to call in today. There's so many of them. Hang on, album view. There it is. Twist and Turn Barbie. That was in Japan, apparently, that one. Ponytail Barbie. Long ponytail there. Mix and Match Barbie. I don't know what that one was there. Bubble Cut Brunette Barbie. That's the 1960s. Perhaps we can go back a little bit further. Or should we come forward a bit? Let's come forward a bit to sort of the 2000s. What did they have in the 2000s, I wonder? 218 files. There we go. Rockstar Barbie. There's a good one. Which Barbie would you be? Travel Destination Barbie. Barbie Indian Diva. Yeah. Fairy Tale Wonder Fairy Barbie. Fashion designer Barbie. I mean, I don't want to go down the whole Ken route. Ken route. You know, I don't know why they ever bought Ken out. It kind of didn't work for me, you know. Who bought the Ken doll anyway? I mean, was that aimed at boys? Boys wouldn't have a Ken doll, would they? I mean, they wouldn't. Mark. I can't read that, Mark. It involves something big that Mark says he'd be. Big something. Or what does it say? King blank Ken doll Barbie. That's what Mark Bowles would be. Come on, which Barbie would you be, gang? Give us a call.
Call in now. 020-8144-3477.
Oh, Vera says she would be Leisure Barbie. Leisure Barbie. Built in Scotland said, why is there no pregnant Barbie doll? I can't say these. Stop sending me these rude things. I'm not going to read them out. Built in Scotland says, did you hear there's a new divorce Barbie? It comes with all of Ken's accessories. Oh dear. That's very good. Mandy Davenport. An excellent for her. Miss Whiplash Barbary. Miss Whiplash Barbie, mistress of pain and suffering. She is, of course, head of pain and suffering on this channel. And you would, of course, if you are Miss Whiplash Barbie, you would have to have, of course, your whip with you, my darling, wouldn't you? Which I'm desperately looking for on here. Where's my whip thing gone? Hang on a minute. It's here. It was here. Where's that gone? My whip sound effect. There it is. There you go. Mandy Davenport, Miss Whiplash Barbie, mistress of pain and suffering. Thank you. Gary Ross said, I'd be Vicky Pollard, Chav Barbie. Gary. Jan Gerling, I'd be NHS Barbie. I'm the urology secretary at Newham University Hospital. Oh, well, if I have any trouble with my waterworks, Jan, I'll come straight to you. I won't have to queue up now that I know that. I'm glad you told me that, my love. No problem at the moment, to be honest. I'm going to get up 2 or 3 times during the night, but I gather that's an age thing because I'm like 60 now, you know. It's funny, actually, going back to your son. I would have been 25 when I knew him, I suppose, really. 25, yeah. It's a long, long time ago, isn't it? What else have we got here? Good evening to Tommy Hanlon. Evening, Tommy, who's cutting the grass tonight as well as listening. Actually, you know, 20 past 9. It's actually quite dark now, isn't it? Compared to like 4 weeks ago. Thank you, Tommy. Lee Gasson, barbecued Barbie. Yes, barbecued Barbie. I like that one, Lee. I like that. Come on. Give me your Barbie titles tonight. I didn't know you used to go to heaven with Joe, actually. Any others there? Have we got any other people that are Barbie? Let's have a look. Mark Bowles, I better read it first. Here we go. If Barbie is made today, it has to be a bit tantastic. Have a couple of teeth missing and a fag in one hand and pushing a pram. Well, that would be called Council Trash Barbie, wouldn't it? Council Trash Barbie. A little bit large, pushing a pram with several children in it. 5 blokes behind her, because each one of the blokes is a father to one of the children in the pram. You're quite right, with a fag hanging in its mouth, except it won't be cigarette smoke, will it? It'll be that bleeding weed stuff that stinks. Oh, I can't bear that smell. And shouting at the blokes behind. Oi, you going to keep up or what? Come on, effing keep up. Effing keep. It'd be a bit like that, wouldn't it? You don't sort of find those people at church, really, do you? Hello to Freddie. Good evening, Freddie. Who says, wasn't Cindy was the British girls doll? And how about the famous Australian burn your nuts on the Barbie? I don't know that one. Thank you, Freddie. Oh, dear me. We got any more there? Let's have a look. Any more Barbie comments there at all? We got anyone else's names to be a Barbie? Of course. Thank you, Mick Davenport. Excellent. Jason, you would be Greg's Barbie. Greg's Barbie. I should have a little handbag, and you open the handbag, it would be full of Greg's sausage rolls, wouldn't it? Sadly, it wouldn't be vegan sausage rolls, because Jason does like a little bit of dead animal in a pastry, don't you, Jason? Yes. Jason, is there a trans Barbie? There's got to be. Hang on a minute, let's type it in. There's got to be a trans Barbie, isn't there? Trans Barbie. There must be. Trans Barbie. I can't find Barbie tribute collection. No. Trans Barbie show. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Mattel has collaborated with actress Laverne Cox to release the first transgender Barbie doll in their collection. One of everything. Be like working at the BBC, wouldn't it? You know, I don't. If I wanted to work at the BBC, I'd have to have it cut off, wouldn't I? You know, it's just how it is these days. I'm glad your whip never leaves your side, Mandy. She's always ready. Oh, it's Mark. Come on, Mark. Mark says, I can be trashy. Yeah, that's what we like, Mark. Mark the what? Mark, I can't read these out, Mark. Mark the blank Barbie basher. Work it out yourself. Vera says, isn't Ken a trans Barbie? I think you could be right there. He's a bit too perfect, isn't he, you know? Who wants anyone who looks perfect? No, thank you. You know, that's always been my problem on the gay scene. You're all going around plucking the bleeding eyebrows and trying to look perfect. Not for me. Not for me, I'm afraid. Anyway, there we are. That's our little Barbie thing. Let's read a few of these messages there, and I'll play you a little record. All right, darlings? Where are we? I'm sorry, I'm on several different things. Let me close something and that'll be easier then. There we go, I've closed it now. Is there no nagging Barbie doll? That's Mick talking there. You know, Mandy's husband. Mandy, I think someone's asking for a beating, my love. Your husband needs a quick whack, darling. Give him a whack, love. Tommy wants to know, have what cut off? Well, we haven't got on BBC News a trans... Well, I doubt, perhaps we have. I don't know. You can't always tell. We haven't got a trans newsreader yet, have we? That could be me. I could go and have the operation and be their first trans newsreader. Thank you very much. There we are. Have it cut off. Think about it, Tommy. All right. Scrolling up here, where we are. I saw a message from Lee a moment ago. Thank you. Gary Ross says a lot of ex-Nazi scientists went to the Allies after the World War to develop jet engines and things like that. Yeah, well, thank God we did. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here. Mind you, I'm all right now on my electric scooter. As you know, regular listeners to this programme will know I'm now in possession of an electric scooter. This is so fantastic. Except, last night I thought I'd go to the bank. I usually go on a Sunday, but I couldn't get there this week because Sunday morning I drove into London to visit Posh Twink Cole's church. Evening, Matt Phillips. Hello, darling. There's Matt. Back again. I went to visit a little church in London. I actually went to see Posh Twink Cole, but he wasn't there. But it doesn't matter. I had a nice mass in the church in this place in Primrose Hill. Church of the Rosary, I think it's called. Anyway, so I had my wages from work and I needed to put them in the bank. So I jumped on my scooter last night. And I thought I'd just scoot down there and back again. And it had 2 bars on the battery. So you know where this is going, don't you? 2 bars on the battery. I thought, oh, that's probably all right to get me there and back. Well, it wasn't, was it? You know, I mean, I got there. On the way there, it dropped to 1 bar. And I thought, oh, God. So I think it starts off at 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Red flashing, and then dead. Okay, so we've gone down to 1 bar about halfway there. I got to the bank, put my money in the hole in the wall. Jumped back on the scooter. I'm a little bit up the road, and the red one's come on. So the red one is solid. We're still working at full power. Everything's working fine. Oh, God. I wonder how long I've got. You know, I mean, not as in about to die, the scooter battery. So I'm going up, and there's a few fairly steep hills on the way back, and I got about a quarter of the way home, if you see what I mean. So, and the red light started flashing. I thought, oh, here we go, you know. And I would say I got about 2/3 of the way home, which isn't bad actually, you know. And then the scooter starts slowing down. It gets slower and slower. It does take a while. It's not instant, you know. It doesn't just stop. It gets slower and slower and slower until eventually it's going slow. You can't balance on the damn thing. And I had to get off and push it. But the thing is, the good thing about it is, it's your weight is a factor in this. Okay, so if you're a bit fat like me, you know, it's taking more electricity to propel you along. So when you get off it, it will still go along on its own at sort of 2, 3, 4 mile an hour. So you don't actually have the weight of the scooter to push. I always feel sorry for lads, you know, when they're on a moped or a motorbike and they've broken down and they have to push these with their own muscles. They've got to push this heap of a machine back to wherever it's going, home or work or whatever, physically. With the electric one, it can't push you along anymore, but it can propel itself. And you kind of keep your finger on the go button, if you see what I mean, and it will take its own weight, and really you've just got to walk next to it, you know, and hold it up there. Innit? You see what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't quite make it, Matt. No, I didn't quite make it, but I got home, and it was, what did I walk? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was an easy walk, so can't complain. And that's fully charged. I love an electric scooter, Mark. I got into those when I went to Tel Aviv in Israel just a few weeks ago, actually, and it was a great way of getting around there. Everyone's on them there. Darren says, is there a pain and suffering, Barbie? Yes, indeed, Darren, and that is Mandy Davenport. She is head of pain and suffering on this channel. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. We were asking Lee about how expensive it is to eat in Switzerland. I've always thought it was particularly expensive there, and Lee indeed says it is. He's in Switzerland at the moment. It's about £50 for a standard meal for one. Wow. £50 for a meal for one. £12 for a glass of wine. I don't know what a glass of wine costs here. I assume it's not £12. What? How much is a glass of wine here? £3? £3.50? I would imagine. Most expensive place in mainland Europe, but it's very clean and people very respectful and orderly. Very orderly pleases and thank yous with everything. next to no crime. $17.99. By the way, they do an unlimited Odeon Cinema membership monthly. Oh, I remember when that first started. It was $9.99. Is it 17 quid already? It was only about $9.99 a couple of years ago. That's gone off quick, isn't it? Blimey. Blimey. And Lee says, did you see my Church of England's church in the middle of the Swiss Alps? English services twice a day with a priest on weekly rotation from the UK. I didn't know that. It's all right, Mandy. Sorry, Mandy. Just demonstrating the little jingle for you, my love, for the other people in there that are not of lesser importance than yourself, my darling. Okay? Oh, Matt's inboxed me. Let's have a little look what he's sending me there. One moment. Thank you very much, darling. Thank you very much, Matt. Out to... Okay. Yeah. All right, Matt. I'll reply to you later on that. I'll reply to you now. Just reply to him. It's quite funny having these like private conversations with different people, and you kind of wonder what we're saying, don't you? There we go. Evening to Chris Too High. Evening to you. Hello, Chris. Chris knows all about drink. How much is a glass of wine, Chris? Vera says it's about £7 upwards for a glass of wine now. Is it really? Gosh. Blimey. Blimey, that is expensive, isn't it? All right, we're going to play you a little song now. Keep sending your messages in and I'll come back to those. As always, gang, if you're watching on YouTube, you will YouTube or Facebook Live, you will get different music to everyone else due to copyright restrictions, okay? Those of you listening on Reach On Air and on TikTok will get normal music. So we can...
a regular tool, but some things you just don't realize. Even though they're happening right in front of your eyes, I'm not even sure just what went wrong.
Welcome back, gang. Don't forget, if you want to join in tonight, you can do so. Either send us a message on the Reach On Air message system. You can send us a message on YouTube or TikTok, or text in on 07451 287 337. 07451 287 337. You can call in as well. The phone line's open now. 020 8144 3477 is my local London number, all right? 020 8144 3477. Good evening, Antonio in Italy.
Reach on air.
We got a few lovely little private conversations I've got going on as well tonight, which is fab. One from a lovely lady there as well. So thank you very much for sending that in, my darling. All right, I'll just clear that down before I accidentally mention your name, because it really is lovely to see you there. All right, there we are. Let's just clear that down for a moment. All righty. Antonia says I was in London a year ago next week and went to the karaoke in King's Cross. Yes, I know you are, Antonio. Don't you worry about that. You've been a few times to our karaoke. Are you back soon at all, I wonder? Vera from Vera's... Actually, would you like your jingle, Vera?
Yes, please.
You'd like your jingle. Vera's here from Vera's Choice in the Morning.
There is choice in the morning.
Yeah, baby.
Reach on air.
Hello, Vera, you delightful creature. Of course, I forgot, and I did come across one. What other Barbie do you think there was, Vera? Go on. No, I can hear you going to say it. I can hear you, but you don't know whether to say it or not. Say it.
Black Barbie.
Black Barbie, absolutely. There was a black Barbie. And of course, in the 1960s, as you would know, as your mother would know, that would have been quite an unusual thing, wouldn't it, Vera?
Half-caste Barbie.
Was there one called that?
Well, that's a terminology that was used back then. But
That's
of course,
right,
that's
yes,
an
of
offensive
course,
word to
of
use
course.
now. They call it mixed-race Barbie.
Of course, yeah. It was a term used then. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah. But I saw Black Barbie mentioned there. I was kind of wondering if you were going to call in so that you could mention it, you see. Because you know all... Vera, eh?
Bleach skin Barbie.
Bleach skin Barbie. Oh, how about, I know what I would be, bitch Barbie. Yeah.
That's definitely
nasty
you.
bitch Barbie. That would be me.
That's definitely you.
Oh, I got one of my exes just turned up here. Robert. Hello, Robert. And do you know what he says? You were always my Ken back in the day. Oh, Rob. Nice to see you, Rob. I've got to tell you a little story. Rob won't mind me telling you this. No problem. I hadn't been gay for very long, and Rob kind of come along just after I'd kind of started working in my first gay pub, which was the Bridge in Putney. I was going out with Rob for a while, and then one night, and I was kind of just finding myself really, and then one night he turned up, I think with his mate. And they dressed as girls, as drag queens, and I couldn't handle it, and that was the end of it, really. I know you don't mind me sharing that, do you? And that was me. That I can't handle that. Of course, that would be very different now, you know. But yeah, that's just how it was then, I'm afraid. You know, when you're just sort of finding yourself. There's a few people finding themselves at the moment, I think. Have you found yourself, Vera? That's the most important thing, darling. Hello, Robert. Nice to see you, darling. What?
Yes, I found myself.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that, Vera. Which one of our many topics are you calling in about tonight? Oh, here's one. Here's one from Mandy Davenport, still on Barbie. Plastic surgery Barbie.
That's a good one.
And good news from Lee Gasson in Switzerland, who has got home, soaked but safe. I'm so pleased about that.
You forgot to add Botox Barbie.
Botox Barbie, yeah. There's enough of those running around, isn't there? Gosh, yeah, there is.
Oh, bless.
Anyway, what you got for me, Vera? From Vera's Choice in the Morning?
I'm reading about the topic that involves, what is it called? I need to go back and have a look. Things that's in public.
Things. Oh, yes, you've been looking at my list of topics today, haven't you? Which I haven't read out yet. So let's just read this out now. One of the things I was going to ask tonight are, what is the most disgusting thing you've ever seen someone do in public, not in private. And I'm just here looking up my list of people, wondering what they do in public. Well, I don't mind that, you know. So Mark immediately sends me a message, doesn't he? Immediately sends me a message. Matt Phillips. Oh, I've got to tell you, Matt he works in demolition, so he would be Demolition Barbie. Anyway, yeah. So what's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen someone do in public? And opening that up to everyone else, once again, send us your messages, okay? What is the most disgusting thing you've seen someone do in public? Go on, Vera, what's yours?
This is not going to be for the faint-hearted. I'm hoping that you're not eating or drinking anything right now.
Well, I might have a mint, although I usually save...
keep everything down.
Right, okay, I'll have a mint then while you're rabbiting away, darling. Carry on.
This was a few years ago, in the days when I was drinking alcohol.
Right.
I was in a pub, met up with a few of my friends. Some of them were already in the pub. They got there early in the afternoon. I got there just after 5. It was a nice day, so we were all having drinks. There was one guy there that was 18. He wasn't as hardcore drinker like the rest of us, but he was trying to keep up. We were doing pints, shots, you name it, we were doing everything. And he was looking sort of worse for wear. And one of the guys decided, I'm going to buy loads of fish and chips. So he bought this whole pile of fish and chips. And then the young chap, the 18-year-old, puked everywhere. It was like The Exorcist. It went everywhere. Around the table, down the chairs, on the floor. And the 3 guys that he was sitting next to carried on eating their fish and chip with this sick all over them, around them. It was just the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I mean, they just looked at it and just carried on eating. It was in the chips as well, and they were all eating the chips and the fish.
They were eating the chips with his sick on it?
Yes.
They must have been so drunk.
Yes.
I mean, we've all bought dodgy burgers and kebabs. Well, I've never had a kebab in my life. But we've all bought dodgy burgers and stuff when we've been... They can't have noticed.
But it's just incredible. So the manager, he saw what happened and he said, come on, guys, look, you need to move so this can get clear that you need to clean it up. They didn't want to clean it up. They just wanted to carry on eating their food. Oh. And it was just, it went everywhere. And I thought, oh, my God, there's no way. We felt sick just looking at them eating this food with all this stuff around them.
Nasty.
The smell was incredible because obviously it's alcohol, isn't it? So
sick smells. Sick smells
with
terrible.
With the fish and chips aroma. So it wasn't. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Well, we got smells on the list as well today, Vera. So you
I can throw that in as well.
Well, you kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. So we can do those together, actually. Once again, my dear friends, what is the worst thing, the most disgusting thing you've seen someone do in public? And also, what is the foulest smell you've ever experienced? Matt Phillips says, I've seen some crazy things in my time I couldn't say on here. But what about you, dear friend and loyal listener?
Well,
Mark Bowles says... Mark says, I've had a smashed kebab or 2 in my time, let me tell you. I'm not quite sure what he means about that. What's a smashed kebab? I've just realised what that could be.
You could draw a pretty picture of what he means by that. Yes.
Come on, people, get your messages in. Tell us what the most disgusting thing is you've ever seen in public and what the worst smell is you've ever seen in public.
In the whole entire history of breathing air on this planet was when I was on checkouts. I still work for Sainsbury's, but I started off on checkouts. And obviously people come to the till to pay for their shopping, blah, blah. So anyway, I had a queue of people waiting to pay, and I was serving one customer. And I smelt something. I thought, what is that smell? I'm thinking, okay. It was a faint smell. And then as people were moving down the line of the queue, it was getting stronger and stronger and stronger, to the point where people were looking at the bottom of their shoes thinking, have they stepped in something? And we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And it got, you know, when you've smelt something that is so bad that the hairs in your nostrils start to twitch.
Yeah.
You just can't breathe, and you can feel something from below ready to come up. That's how bad and it was so strong. I couldn't, so I had to shut the till down and run away. I just couldn't do it. I left the person standing in front of me ready to be served, and it was a man standing there, and I looked and I thought, I'm going to throw up on you if I stand here any longer. And I had to leave. And he was wondering why he wasn't being served. I couldn't. No one could just handle the smell. I don't know what it was, what he stepped in, what he fell into. It must be a vat of sewage. I don't know what it was, but that's how bad it was.
I've walked behind people like that in Audi. Seriously, I have. And there's like a wee smell all over them. Not weed, although you get that as well. There's a wee, they smell of wee. You know, I actually don't. I know some people would be sitting there like judging them and that, but I kind of think, how bad has your life got that you don't notice you are smelling of wee? Do you know what I mean? I think. You know, you go into a place, there's a funny smell in there, but very quickly you get used to the smell, and I just imagine it must be a bit like that. Really, they've smelt like that for so long that they've got used to it. Do you think?
Possibly. I mean, like, for example, yesterday at work, this couple with their little kid came round to the toy department where I was just tidying up. And I've got a good sense of smell. I can smell something burning before it starts burning. That's how good I am. And I smell, and I thought, no, I'm not having this smell up my nose today, not today. And unfortunately, the husband, he must be immune to his wife smelling of BO because it was so strong. He was walking behind her, admittedly. He wasn't walking with her.
Yeah.
I legged it to another area because I just couldn't. I didn't want people to think it was me because it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Because that's how strong it was. And I thought the child was probably trying to run away from its mother as well because it was so bad. But he obviously doesn't say anything to the wife. And I'm thinking, how can you not say something to your wife? You're married to this woman, have a child with this woman, and your wife is parading around the streets smelling like that, and you say nothing? How could you do that to somebody?
Oh, it's awful.
You've got to wait till you get home and then tell them when it's too late.
And
you infected the air.
If you had to pick, right, you've got to put up with one of these things. Which would it be? BO or bad breath? Which one would you rather try and put up with? The BO or the bad breath?
That's a very difficult one, Chris. You cannot throw that at me. You cannot. Because I've experienced both of those things.
Yeah, I bet you have, my love.
Used to be on checkout. And when you've got a customer talking to you and you're trying to arch... I was limboing at the till, literally. Arching my back backwards until I went into a limbo, just trying to get away from the smell. Because you can't move because you're trapped in a small area.
Yeah.
At checkout. So where are you going to run to? Where are you going to run? Nowhere to run.
Why haven't they put? They need to put up those plastic screens they had when the COVID was around. I reckon.
Yes.
They need to go back up immediately.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not on checkout because I'm sure if I was to this very day, I'd probably be sacked by now because the things I would tell the customers to say, here's a mint, you need it. I would tell them.
Yeah.
That's probably why I don't work on checkouts anymore because I wouldn't tolerate that kind of smell coming near me.
Well, I think with the bad breath, actually, I've been told before, oh my God, what have you been eating? And it's usually garlic. You can't smell it. You can't smell it. It's Chris Tuoy, actually. I don't know if he's still with us at the moment. But Chris Tuoy, he used to, I remember him saying to me, he didn't actually use the word bad breath. I can't say the words he used. He said, why have you got something breath? And I said, have I? He said, oh my God, it's awful. And of course, I remembered I'd had garlic sort of I don't know, 12 hours before for lunch, and it hangs around, doesn't it? Very difficult to get rid of that smell, actually. But you know, if you're a bit old, the thing is that is an advantage of being older, actually, Vera. You know, because it's extremely unlikely anyone is going to want to come up and snog me, so I can just eat what I want now.
Yeah, but then, yeah, but then by doing that, you're putting you're sending everyone else away from you.
Yeah,
which you don't really want.
Well, you know,
and you've got your clients that you look after in karaoke.
Clients? I'm not doing rent. Oh, sorry, I see what you mean. Yeah, carry on.
You want to be approachable.
Yeah. Well, you do. Yeah,
so,
yeah, you do.
And so you don't want, when you approach people, when you come off the stage, you talk to people, you don't want people running away from you, mind you.
Well, I mean, you say that. When I come off that stage, I have a very short time to get back. It's usually, I think the average is about 2.5 to 3 minutes, right? And I have to get wherever I've got to get and back. It's really difficult when people keep grabbing you and they want to have a conversation because they're nice people and they want to have and you just haven't got time to do it. It's like, get off. And it can come across as rude, but if you don't get back to the stage, and it happens, it does happen, right, where I've kind of taken my mind off it, I've had a little bit of a conversation, and then suddenly someone's finished on the stage and you're not there. And I always think that looks really bad, but you literally have to sort of push people away. Like, I've got to get back, you know, and they want a little bit of a conversation. It's quite difficult to do that. Yeah. Anyway, carry on, my love. Yes.
But also, for the Londoners who travel on the tube day in, day out, thank God I don't do that very often.
Is that bad, is it?
If it's packed and you're holding on to those things and you got BO.
Yeah, because your arm's up, isn't it? Exposing the smell to everyone,
you're waving it around.
How awful.
And I'm thinking, put your arms down, please, don't do this to me. I can't breathe. I've gotten off trains before. I know I wanted to get home in a hurry, but I thought, you know what? I don't care. I'm getting off this train. I'm not putting up with this smell. I need to breathe air.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell.
We've got some other people coming in with the smells here. Paul and Lou, good evening to Paul and Lou. In the ATV television area, Glastonbury toilets on a hot Sunday. Oh, I can't imagine it. Oh, my God. Isn't that awful? Fran Green, a couple of days after someone's house burnt down, he was still insisting on wearing his clothes. What they say? Did they smell smoky? Actually, I quite like that. I quite like that smoky bonfire smell. Do you, Vera?
That's a different type of smell, though.
Yes.
The house fire smell and the barbecue smell.
That takes me back to Scout and Cub camps. The smoky because there was always a fire going somewhere on Scout camps, or there was in those days, and you'd sit around it and you'd end up smelling of a lovely, lovely sort of smell of smoke, really. Don't suppose they're allowed to do that. Gary Ross mentions vinegar pits. Nasty vinegar pits. Lee Gasson, halitosis is a medical term for bad breath. Oh, my God. Mick Davenport, nothing worse than coming across a neighbour's deceased body that's been there for 2 weeks in the height of summer. Oh, dear. Hello to Frank Martin. Evening, Frank. Hello to Frank. Nice to see you appear there today, Frank. Thank you. Mandy says blood smells worse than sick, and I couldn't tell you the worst thing I've seen and had to deal with as a cleaner. I don't think I've ever smelt blood.
I have.
Is that just a nasty, horrible smell there, is it?
Yes, it's a cross between bad milk or baby's milk and something. It's hard to describe bad blood because the reason why I know this because in my drunken days I slipped when I got home. I was so intoxicated I slipped and fell and smashed my head on a metal pole in the house.
Yeah.
And it was about 1.5 inches cut back of my skull open.
Oh.
And blood was everywhere. But because I was so dazed and confused, I went straight to bed. And the blood was everywhere on my pillow, my duvet.
That probably wasn't wise.
It wasn't wise. I did go to the hospital the next day, which was the most painful thing ever because now they've got to have my hair matted into the cut and the blood, and they had to try and clean it the best they could. Of course, they don't stitch now. They had to try and push the two skins together to glue it.
Right.
So I've got a scar at the back of my head now, which is my
Vera.
fault, obviously. But I was too intoxicated to think about anything else but going to sleep, which I could have died. You never know. I mean,
Yes, you could have.
I could have done.
But I think we've all done stuff like that where we know we should.
Yeah.
I'll go tomorrow, and
No, it's alcohol plays a major part in the way you think. Because you don't think, you just think, oh, I'm brave, I can do this, I can do that. You become invincible.
yeah.
That was one of the reasons why, not just for Lent at the time, but obviously to get myself back on track, because I was just drinking too much. And when I mean drinking too much, I was doing sort of like 7 pints and 15 shots a night.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Can
that's a
anyone
lot.
beat that one? Which one of you lot
That's a
drinks
lot.
more than that? I wonder. Actually, Matt, how much do you... Oh, he's there. Drink does some crazy things to your body without you knowing.
Yes.
Do you drink much at all, Matt? I imagine you having a few pints, actually. Maybe not drunk as a skunk. Gary Ross
I was.
mentions disgusting things people have done. George Bond's picking his nose live on YouTube. Oh, we've all seen that one, mate. Oh, it's not nice, is it? It's not nice.
Yeah.
Mick Davenport was busting on a campsite in Horncastle once, and he spotted the rabbit hole. Lee Gasson has seen someone pooing in the street.
I saw that a lot in India. Which is not great.
Yeah, but that's like a normal thing there, isn't it? Mark
It
Bowles.
is.
Mark Bowles
It is.
can't smell bad breath when it's round you. Well, I can't. Honestly, Mark, I can't read any of these out. Certainly not about something. And there's something else about a kebab there. I don't dare read that in case she's listening.
No.
Honestly.
I can see where Mark's going with this.
Oh,
That's it, yeah.
God. Yeah, Matt went out one night, fell over the upstairs bar to the floor and broke all my left side ribs. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Never felt it till next morning when my ribs were black.
Yeah. You just don't know. So, yes,
Nasty, innit?
going back to the question about what the old blood smell like, yes, it's not a great smell.
No. Sometimes, like, if you've got, not so much, I know your gums bleed in that, but if you perhaps got a little bit of a cut on your finger and you kind of lick it, didn't you? And you get that metally taste. It tastes of metal, doesn't it? Have we got metal in our blood? I wonder if we
Got everything in our blood.
Must be metal in our blood or something like that. Or, of course, we've
Well,
all
it
got...
depends on
of
if
course,
you have a lot of iron.
Well,
you eat
of
a lot
course,
of veg
you know.
and stuff, don't you?
Everyone who's had coronavirus injections, we've all got microchips now, according to some people. We're all microchipped. All microchipped. You're going to beep, beep, as you go through the checkout.
Does that mean that I'm now the bionic woman? I
You
can run
are.
that up
You've
to
always...
60 miles an hour.
Well, you've always been the bionic woman in my eyes, Vera. Certainly, you've got certainly you've got
run. Let's put it that way.
certainly you've got bionic eyes when you report back to me at the end of the night.
Nothing wrong with my eyes. I can see for miles when I need to.
Oh, Vera.
Oh my God, I'm going to be labelled for that for the rest of my life, aren't I?
Worry not, my love. Worry not.
I know. Don't worry. Anyway, I'm going to love you. And
Oh,
leave you.
look
Sure,
who it is.
Someone else.
No, wait, Pixie's there. Pixie's just popped up.
Pixie Presents.
Pixie Presents has just popped up on the TikTok there. Well, say hello to her then.
Doing it. Well, I don't normally call her Pixie, and I'm not going to reveal her nickname that I call her, but
What
she
is
knows
it?
who.
It says Pixie Presents. Hi. So say hi.
Hi, Pixie.
Oh, isn't it hard work sometimes with people? Sorry,
No, but I
Pixie.
don't- she
Oh,
knows I
dear
don't call her
me.
Pixie.
That was
I
hard
call her
work.
Pixie. I
What do
don't
you-
call her Pixie. She
Wow.
knows that.
Wow. Thank you, Vera. Lots of love, darling.
But before I go,
Yeah.
Pixie can verify many of my drunken mishaps in the Vic because she's been there when most of my accidents have occurred, so she could vouch for most of them.
Right.
So she's seen it all. Me ended up in hospital twice.
Oh, Vera.
Yeah, but I don't drink anymore, so that's in the past now.
Good on you, girl. Good on you. I
Yeah.
used to, I went through 6 months of getting drunk every night when I was about 23. Then I stopped, and that was it. Didn't really get drunk at all, ever, after that. I just didn't. Actually, I think, if I remember rightly, I met my no, maybe I won't go there. No, I'm not going to go there.
No,
I better
don't go
not
there. Don't go there. Leave it. Leave it.
Thank you, Vera.
Anyway,
Ta-ra,
I'll
darling.
leave you with that, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye, love.
Bye.
There we are, Vera from Vera's Choice in the Morning calling in there. You can call in. There's a phone number open now, 020 8144 3477 is my local London number.
Call in now. 020-8144-3477.
Matt's mentioning 10 years later he's still got the 2 ribs that aren't even connected to his body anymore. They are free moving ribs. Oh, you're going to have to show me those. See how your ribs move around inside your body there. How strange. Can you move them very far? Or do they just sort of shake a little bit? Actually, my tits are shaking a little bit at the moment, Matt, to be honest. I'm a little bit fat at the moment. Just a little bit fat at the moment. I can't understand it. I do the swimming 3 times a week. I do the gym 3 times a week. Still putting on weight. I'm desperately trying to knock out the bread because I think that's what it is. I thought I was going to have no bread today, and then just before the show, I decided to have some beans on toast, and I had 3 bits of bread with that. But yeah. One of those things. He's going to show us his moving ribs on Friday. Good. 7:30 is where we start, okay? By the way, gang, one of the other things I do is 2 karaoke nights there at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road in King's Cross. If you ever want to come along there, feel free. 7:30 to 11 o'clock. It's a gay pub, but everyone is welcome in there. We have a very broad mix of people, all sorts, all shapes. Everyone is in there, okay? So once again, Central Station karaoke on Friday and Saturday night, 7:30 to 11 o'clock. Mark J says, I've given up trying to lose weight. I'm happy with where I am. Well, looks-wise, I'm not too bothered about it, to be honest, Mark, especially, as you get older, you don't worry so much about these things. I just think about health things. And also, it can be uncomfortable that I've got a load of shirts now that I can't wear and pairs of shorts because they just don't fit anymore. And it's a terrible waste of money. I don't like to waste things, I'm not a waster there, really. Thank you, Mark J. And Mark Bowles, hang on a minute. When I worked at a club, I saw a girl pull down everything and have a wee on the dance floor. Oh, gosh. And indeed, let me just go back over to the YouTube there. One moment, please. There we are. Mick, I used to drink 15 pints and half a bottle of Southern Comfort on a night out. Wow. Now I can't drink 4 cans of cider without feeling intoxicated. Well, the only drink I ever have, if I'm going out somewhere a bit posh, and I'll have a glass of champagne, right? Bear in mind, I don't drink at all. No beer, no spirits, nothing like that. So when I go out, I'll have an expensive glass of champagne. The one glass would probably cost about 30 or 40 quid just for one glass. And I'm drunk after that. I'm very merry. I don't want any of you so-called straight lads coming into my bar trying to get me drunk on a little glass of champagne. Yeah, what's that cheap one? Parmaine? No, what's it called? Prosecco. And I love a glass of Prosecco as well. Quite like the little bubbles going up my nose and all that business, But apart from that, that's it, really. That's it. Lee says metal in our blood is iron, magnesium, lithium, potassium and more. That's all in our blood, all that stuff. Or have I got lithium in my blood? Yeah, they want that to make them car batteries, don't they? They can have some of my blood. Can I sell that? On a slightly different subject, I was watching a very good programme on the BBC iPlayer just before. I've seen about half of it so far. And it was about electric cars. Type in electric cars and it should come up. And that was absolutely fascinating. And it appears that most of the raw materials, the lithium stuff and all that business, all has to come from China. And there's your problem, I don't have a problem with the Chinese like some people do. I don't know why. They're always going about how terrible they are and all that. I don't really have a problem with the Chinese. They're just another race of people, as far as I'm concerned, doing things slightly differently from us. That doesn't make them worse or better than us. We're all the same. However, when politics kind of goes a little bit wrong between different countries, they whack up the price of the lithium. Well, they're all trying to get us onto these electric cars, aren't they? Without the lithium, ain't going to happen. Anyway, there we are. That's quite good, that thing on the electric cars. And I think they said, what's the other thing they said? So the lithium comes from China and something comes from South America. Something that they get in salt. Or in salt. Oh, I can't remember now. I can't remember what the other thing was now. But they're very, very interesting on electric cars. And it was showing you, charging places and all this. And we just haven't got enough charging places and things like that, I'd love an electric car myself. I really thought the last time I bought a car it was going to be electric, but I did some further research and I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to have trouble charging. Even on this programme, which wasn't made too long ago, with the people saying, go up and down the country, you can visit 5 or 6 places to charge a car and they're all out of order. I mean, what do you do? What do you do when you get to that, third place? You're absolutely at death's door on the battery and it's out of order. I mean, what do you do then? Do you have to ring someone and they come out with a charging vehicle or something? Well, I wonder what happens. Have any of you got electric cars, as a matter of interest? I don't think... I know plenty of people with hybrid. I've got hybrid myself. I know a couple of people with plug-in hybrid. My mate's got one that does about 30 mile and then it goes to petrol. But I don't... I'm just trying... Actually, no. One of my neighbours has got an electric car and he loves it. He swears by it. Matt Phillips' his work van is electric. And can you charge up at home? You see, I can't charge up at home here. Well, I could, but there'd be a wire coming out of my house, going past 3 of my neighbours and across the car park. It's just impossible. Lee Gasson, 2 glasses of red wine twice a week. Less is more. Good lad, Lee. Good lad. Hello to Michael Pullman. Hello, Michael. I've been following your Facebook stuff, actually. I don't usually comment on people's stuff if they're having a bit of a problem, but I'm sorry you're having some problems at the moment. Same as our friend up there as well, who said hello earlier, Frank Martin. He's got different sorts of problems, and sorry a few of you are having some problems at the moment. Tommy Hanlon, £30 for one drink. No wonder he's got a posh 3-slice toaster. Yeah, but Tommy, that's 3 or 4 times a year, mate. See? That's it. I tell you, there's people in that pub, they're spending £100 a week in that pub. Or any other pubs, Okay. All right, boys and girls, let's play you another little song, all right? I don't know what do you want, old or new?
I'll wait till the morning. I'll fight this alone. On my road to ruin, I'll follow you home. Whenever we'll get there, we'll start with a name. 2 kinds of behavior. I'll take 3 for the team and play again. to make a stay. I'll cherish my demons and lead them to fire. Most of the time I hear angelic choirs. Oh, I'm with you, I'm weak, but I'm nothing without you. Can anyone show me a way not to lose you? Someday, someday.
Good evening to you if you're just joining us.
Chris Reardon, Tuesday night, reach on air.
Our very own legend, DJ Dave Squires. He'll be with you straight after the 11 o'clock news tonight at Reach on Air, singing along to the best music. Says one vodka and Coke a week for me. Hope you're well, Chris. Thank you, Dave. One vodka and Coke, that's all he has a week. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little drink here and there, just as long as you're in control, you know. People who are drinking sort of a bottle of wine a night, I mean, is that good for you, really? I don't know. Seems to be an awful lot of drink to me, a whole bottle of wine each night. I don't even know how much wine is anymore. I seem to remember going, when Sainsbury's, I never been really a big drinker, except when I was, like I say, when I was 23. I used to sort of get drunk, but then again, it was only like 3 or 4, maybe 5 pints, and I'd be drunk, you know. Tom's with us tonight. He's listening, but he's in bed with his eyes closed, so no commenting. Oh dear, thank you. On the subject of smells, there's a couple I wrote down here. The smell of a nappy, a soiled nappy. Isn't that just awful? Of course, the little kids, the little babies, they can't do anything about that. It's just one of those things, you know. If you're a parent and you'll be completely used to changing nappies and things like that, I presume. It's not something I'd ever want to do. I think I did it once. Actually, it reminds me of a little story. And I was at my niece's house in Cyprus when she was living over there for 3 years. They're in Scotland now. But anyway, great niece Emily, who would have been, I don't know, 5 or 6 at the time, I think. And she says, "Oh, I need to go to the toilet. Can you take me to the toilet, Uncle Chris?" "Yes." So I took her to the toilet. She's gone in, and I sort of turned me back, and I'll wait out here for you. "Okay. Can you leave the door open?" "Yeah, that's fine." Okay. So she's in there. She said, "I've finished now. Can you come and wipe my bum, Uncle Chris?" And I'm like, "Tracy," that's my niece. "Tracy, she needs her bum wiped." No way. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. No. Oh. So that's nappy smell, similar to that. We've had bad breath and BO. Rats. Have you ever smelt dead rats? Oh my God, it's just awful. I've told this story so many times. I used to work at a place, I can tell you where it was now because I don't work there anymore. Belushi's in London Bridge. I think you might have come there once, actually, Matt. Did you come there? And I'd been there for a while, and this smell was in there, and it was developing. Week by week, it was getting worse and worse, and they didn't know what it was until someone came in one day and said, "That's the smell of dead rats." And it really is. I can liken it to a wet cloth that has been left in a sink for weeks on end. I thought you did, Matt, yeah. And my God, it was awful, this smell. And this place used to sell food. And the smell was downstairs, but it was so bad, it was coming upstairs into the bar as well. And they had people out and they're looking for these rats, and they couldn't find any. And it literally went on for months, this. until they decided to close the downstairs bar for a refit. Most pubs close every now and again and have a complete refit, except Central Station. Now and again they put a new bit of wallpaper up, but that's about it in there. And they don't close. Good God, perish the thought of losing money coming over the bar, you know. But it works there. It works there. And they closed this place down. So I didn't. Did I work there? Yeah, no, we carried on. We carried on because the bar was open upstairs. It was just downstairs. People could go downstairs with their drink, have a meal, and people would be sitting down there eating, surrounded by this awful smell. Anyway, so they closed it downstairs, and then one day I went back in. I said, "Oh, that smell's gone." "Oh, yeah." I said, "Did you find where the problem was?" "Oh, yeah, we found it." "What happened?" "Well, to do the refit, they had to take down the false ceiling. And underneath that false ceiling were dozens of dead rats. And what had happened, they realised what had happened, is that there was like a hole where the road is, yeah, where the kind of drain is. There was a hole there, and they were coming in that hole, falling down onto the false ceiling, and they couldn't get back out again. And that's what the smell was. It was vile, this smell. But it's still not the vilest smell I've ever smelt. If you speak to my sister, I hope he's watching tonight, he'll know I'm about to talk about him. I was with my sister, with my two nephews and my niece. In those days, they were much younger. I think Gary was 15 or 16 maybe. Tracy would have been a couple of years younger, and Jimmy would have been in single figures, I think, really, their ages. I were on this Eurostar train. And we were coming back from Euro Disney, and I'm sitting there with my sister and her husband and the kids, and suddenly this most foul stench filled the carriage. My sister looked at me. She said, "Oh my God, what is that?" And at that point, head of YouTube, caravan maintenance and everything else, my nephew Gary started laughing, and it was him. He'd farted on this train, and the entire carriage just absolutely stunk. And I think I'm going to go with that one. I think that is the most foulest stench I've ever experienced. And he's very proud of that, if you speak to him. He's very... I don't know what he'd been eating. It was awful. Awful. Oh, God. Lee Gasson says, like you, Chris, weed smell makes me feel so sick, so pungent. I wouldn't say it makes that smell of weed doesn't make me feel sick, really. I just find it an unpleasant smell. It hangs, doesn't it? I mean, I always know when some of the kids around here they usually go under an underpass somewhere, which is open at either a small underpass, literally just to go underneath a road and back up again. And this smell, if you've had kids down there smoking, it hangs around for ages. Not like cigarette smoke, which quickly dissipates. You know, it's like those vapes. Now you can. The thing is with the vapes, some of them actually smell quite nice, but you can have too much of it, can't you? You know. You can smell it too much. I know some people have occasionally come into pubs with like a bluebell flavour or strawberry. Oh, that's quite a nice smell. But then it's there for hours and it's not so nice after smelling it for a few hours, doesn't it? Vera says, if I go into a shop and I smell rats and mice, I will not buy anything. She says it sounds like Gary has the ultimate nuclear weapon, which we need. Yeah, we could send Gary over to one of these dodgy countries, couldn't we? Like North Korea. We could get him to meet King Jing Jong Ping Pong, couldn't we? And fart there. That would finish him off. Wouldn't it? Don't forget, our phone line is open if you want to call in tonight. It's 020 8144 3477, the phone-in number, OK?
Call in now. 020 8144
And Mick says smells of marijuana around here. Marijuana. I can never say it. Marijuana around here. Jason's got some growing. I hope not, Jason. Jason wants to know, is 24 pints of lager too much a week? Asking for a friend. Dear. So they're my personal worst smells there that I've smelt. The most disgusting things. The most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Before my mate moved up near me, he used to live in this place in East London, Columbia Road, near the Flower Market. And it was nice old flats. The flats themselves were really nice. Where they were was just a bit dodgy. And I always felt particularly unsafe walking from his flat to my car, which was parked, just a few, I don't know, 10 or 20 feet away, something like that, from his house. I used to actually feel unsafe going to that. And behind his flat, he had this big block of flats. So one side of the street, you've got these really old, nice flats. And on the other side of the street, a big tower block. And there were some bushes there. And these girls come out of this flat and they were all talking. They all looked a bit like they could have been working girls or something like that. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't have a problem with girls working like that. Want to get the money in, that's fine by me. Except there was a little green area, and it was ever so small, in front of these flats. And they just stopped behind the bushes, pulled their knickers down and had a poo. I mean, I'm sorry. No. I mean, I understand, you might be suddenly desperate to go. It's happened to me before. Believe me, I suffer a little bit from IBS, which isn't too bad. But I do suffer from it, and I don't like to be too far away from a toilet. I certainly won't ever go on another coach trip, I don't think. Not unless I know there's a toilet on there. And you kind of go, you try and hide somewhere, and you do it, didn't you? It just didn't bother them. They just pulled their skirts and knickers down and went there on this little bit of grass. And you'd think, dirty cows. Dirty cows. I did get stuck once on a road, and I literally pulled over, put something on the floor to catch it. I think it was a carrier bag or something. Opened both doors and kind of crouched down in between the two doors so no one could see me. I know, just sometimes people still see you anyway, no matter how hard you try. But these girls wasn't bothered at all. It's horrible, isn't it? On smells, Matt says the worst smell was working away. We did a 48-hour shift. There were 3 old blokes. The smell was so bad when we sat down to eat and they walked in. I was sick. Oh, dear. Dear me. Yeah, some people need a little bit of a shower going on there, really, don't they? All righty. What else we got here today? Hot weather. Not that we're getting any here at the moment. They say it's going to improve, don't they? August and September are going to be particularly good. I've seen in some of the papers mentioning that. I know it's been a bit wet. It hasn't been over hot as it is. But quite a nice temperature today. But certainly last night when I was on my scooter going into town, I did actually have a coat on last night. That would have been about 9 o'clock at night. But I wouldn't want to be in that hot weather. I'd rather be here like it is now than in that horrendous hot weather that they're experiencing in lots of Europe. And it goes on, doesn't it? There's a story just come out in The Sun tonight. A little while ago, a family told how they fled the wildfires on the Greek islands of Rhodes in just their swimwear and said, we're lucky to be alive. I mean, literally. Days earlier, they'd seen smoke on the horizon, but were assured they weren't at risk. Then on Saturday, fellow guests hurried to the beach with suitcases as flames surrounded the hotel, just out of sight of a winding track. Flames lapped at the doors to apartment blocks, but miraculously left the rooms untouched. Toby of Manchester said, I can't believe how close the fire got. It would be an understatement to say we're lucky to be alive. I mean, can you just imagine that? Being somewhere and seeing this massive fire coming towards you. We had it here for a while. Those of you that know me, I am surrounded by woodland. It's beautiful here. But it was about 10, 12 years ago, I suppose, we had a serious fire over in the woods where I often like to go and walk. I haven't been over there for ages. I used to like to go and walk over there, in particular during the lockdown. I found great solitude and peace among the trees. It's just nice over there, you know. And we had a big fire over there once. And I reckon it was caused by kids, you know, who think it's quite amusing. Oh, let's start a little fire and see how far it can get out of control. They find that funny, you see. You know. And I remember coming home one night from work at about 3 a.m. and, cool, what's that smell? Someone having a bonfire. It was really strong, and it was coming from the forest. It was coming from the forest. And this is what the heat does. It causes fires. You know, I don't know if the heat on its own causes fires, or whether perhaps a little bit of glass starts reflecting the sun onto something, or a cigarette end. I mean, there's so many things that can cause a fire. Sun and trees on their own, I'm not so sure. I mean, can a tree just burst into flames on its own? I don't think it probably can. But dry grass, maybe, you know, you've got a little bit of glass. It can do the tiniest little bit of glass. That's why glass is so dangerous. It's like when I go out and do a little bit of litter picking at the weekend here. You know, glass bottles are one of the worst. I mean, plastic's bad enough for the environment, but glass, the tiniest bit of glass, positioned in the right place, picks up the sun, and up goes the grass, followed by the trees and anything else that's in the way. And it moves really quickly, fire. Very quickly. Rhodes has been on the news recently. The Daily Mirror is reporting TUI have announced they're suspending a number of holidays to Rhodes until next month amid devastating wildfires raging across the Greek island. Now, I've never been to Greece. There's somewhere I'd like to go. Actually, my sister and her husband are going there soon. Can't remember exactly when. I must ask her when they're going. TUI are now not operating any flights at all to Rhodes until Friday the 28th, and are not operating holidays for customers to Rhodes to hotels that have been affected by the fires. Well, I shouldn't think so. The bleeding hotels aren't there anymore. What are they going to do? Give them all tents? Mostly it's the south of the island up to and including August the 11th. So it's still quite, you know, it's a couple of weeks ahead, isn't it? Because, of course, we're into August next Monday. It's August on Monday. And I don't know if you saw on the news, one of the planes that's been going over, picking up water from the sea and dropping it onto the fires, has crashed. I don't know if anyone died in that. I mean, little two-seater plane crashing into the ground. I wouldn't think you got much chance. But very, very hot. Very hot. Matt says we need a heat wave. Well, yeah, but not as hot as what they're getting over there. I'll tell you, Matt, when I went to Tel Aviv a few weeks ago now, on the day we got there, it was 41 degrees. And to be fair, me and my mate only experienced that 41 degrees when we came out of the airport and waited in a queue for the proper taxis. As a little tip for anyone there, if you're ever getting a taxi from an airport to your hotel, right, find out the designated taxi line and join it. Do not ever accept a taxi from someone who comes up to you either in the airport or just like, do you want a taxi, mate? Do you want No, we don't want a taxi. Join the queue. You won't be waiting there more than 20 minutes. And then you'll be joining the queue and it'll all be regulated and you'll be fine. Never, ever take a taxi from someone who comes up to you in an airport. So the only time we really experienced that 41 degree heat was when we were waiting. We came out of the airport and were waiting for the taxi. So, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes. And it was bad enough then, 41 degrees. Got in the taxi, come out of the taxi and went into the hotel. So what's that, 20 seconds? And once we were in the hotel, the air conditioning was on. You know, we went in there, we had a little bit of a kip, me and my mate. And by the time we came out at night, it had dropped down to about, I think, 37. And then after that, for the rest of the week, it was about 32, 34, which was fine, to be honest. But 48, oh no, I couldn't. I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to these places if I knew. I do not understand these people getting on the planes. I saw somewhere an EasyJet pilot had advised people, hang on, an EasyJet pilot says get off, I don't know. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. An EasyJet pilot warned passengers to get off a plane bound for Rhodes seconds before takeoff. Here we go. This is on the Yahoo news thing. About 19,000 people have been evacuated on the Greek island. And this EasyJet passenger said, you must be all mad going here. Here's your opportunity to get off. And a few people did. I just don't get it. Why would you put yourself through that? Why? When you know there are fires and it's just mega. I don't think people are actually comprehending how hot it would feel. Just because you've paid for something don't mean you have to actually take it up. I mean, a lot of people will be able to get refunds. Some people won't. They won't get the refunds because they've done the bookings themselves. They haven't got a package holiday. You lose the money. Not always. Some people will lose the money. I'd rather lose the money than go there and trying to put up with that heat. It's just too much. So I'm wondering, what is the hottest weather you've ever experienced? Now, you may not actually know the figures, which is fair enough. You may not know it was like 45 or 41 or 35, whatever. But do you remember a time where perhaps you were probably outside or inside somewhere and you thought, oh my God, I can't stand this heat anymore? Have you ever experienced anything like that at all? Mark J says, I remember being woken up as a young lad at my grandparents' house. There was a hot ember left in the fire and it set the carpet alight. Very important to put out a fire. Yeah. Vera's been to a few Greek islands. Mark was carried down from the room from 2 flights of stairs out of the house. Gosh. Vera quite rightly says this country can't cope with a heat wave. I mean, I'm very lucky here. I've over the last few years, I've spent a bit of money putting some air conditioning in. It also heats. My idea is to use the boiler a lot less, so I don't rely on gas. But I've got an air conditioning come heating unit in here, one in my bedroom and one in the living room, and they're really good. I mean, God, they make so much difference. I remember my mate coming home. Actually, I don't think we've had it on in the living room this year, but last year it was mega hot for a period of time. And I put the one on in the living room. I can turn it on while we were coming back from the swimming pool, actually. And he got in. And in the end, he had to put a jumper on in the living room, and it was like 90 degrees outside or something. So they work very well. But, of course, most people don't have that sort of thing. We can get portable air conditioning units, which are quite good, but they're not particularly efficient. The ones I've got on here are very good. And Vera quite rightly points out that houses were built for winter, not summer. Yes, agreed with you, Vera, but actually you'll find, and I discovered this, do the same as you do in the winter, and that is keep your windows and doors closed. Right? Because I found in my living room, if I kept the windows and doors closed, even without the aircon on, it was the coolest room in the house. And noticeably, you know. Matt says, love the holiday or lose your life. Yeah. Oh, he's been in Jamaica 3 years ago. 48 degrees. I seem to remember seeing a picture of you there. I'm sure I saw some pictures of you there 3 years ago, because I've known you for about 6 or 7 years now, haven't I? 3 years ago, 48 degrees in the heat there. How did you cope with that? You know, was that hot? I blistered all over my back. Don't tell me you laid in the sun in that, mate. And that's another problem with the British people, isn't it? Eh? They go on holiday. First thing they do is they strip off and sit round the pool in the sun. I don't know how they can do it. I can't do it. I can't actually do that. How people do that, I don't know. Mark Bowles went on a holiday last year. It was very hot in Portugal. It ruined my holiday. On the second day, he was sunburnt, and that is painful. Oh, there's a picture of his leg, which is all red, which I may copy off. I may cut and paste that photograph and take that picture of your leg to bed with me, Mark. Oh, it's a nasty sunburn. But people do it. People do it. I just can't sit around a blooming pool and do nothing. That does my head in. I even had trouble in Barbados years ago. Was it St. Lucia or Barbados? Hang on a minute, let me think. St. Lucia. I was best man at my mate's wedding. He married a lovely Irish girl called Shona, who very sadly he lost just a few years later to breast cancer. But I was best man for his wedding in St. Lucia. And I had a little sort of... You went down these steps and there was this beach that I used to like to go on. And I would sit underneath an umbrella thing and read a book. But I used to get bored to tears. I mean, you kind of had breakfast. Then I'd go down and read this book and go back up for lunch. I don't know. I'm an activity type person. I say activity... Yeah, but I'm not so sure I'd get on a jet ski unless there was someone fit in front of me to hang on to. Or behind me, even better. DJ Tim's here. Hello, Tim. In the television southwest area. But DJ Tim says, I've not been outside of the UK in years, but our old flat was in the roof space. A few years ago, it reached 32 degrees in our front room. I ran out of layers to remove. Yeah. I mean, maybe that whole air conditioning thing is going to be something that we get more of this year. If you are interested in something like that, you can probably get a room done for about £1,000 properly. That is like what I've got here. Something near the top of the wall, you know, chucking out cold air or hot air, depending on which you've got. It's also a very efficient a very efficient way to heat one room is an air conditioning unit. Much better than a fan heater or indeed an electric bar fire or something like that. It's about £1,000 a room, roughly. Okay. If it's like £2,000 a room, you're paying too much. So if you're interested in something like that, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I mean, it makes all the difference, especially if you've got a caravan. I mean, they're just ovens. Caravans are ovens. And it doesn't even need to be particularly hot outside, just the radiation of the sun heating up that metal box. It's an oven. We live in an oven. Good night, Matt. Matt's off now. He's up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Matt. Nice to see you there, all right? Paul and Lou were in France last week. The weather was very hot, late 30s. We were in a caravan. I remember you saying that, Paul and Lou. Did you have air conditioning in the caravan at all or not? Most caravans don't have such a thing. That's started to come along now. Certainly on the little site where my luxury waterside media centre is. I'll be back up there in a couple of weeks' time. I had the air conditioning put in there. That's one of the first things I did. You can get portable ones. They're about £300 or £400 for a decent one of those, but they are a bit noisy, okay? I mean, I had that here before I had the proper ones installed, and they were perfectly all right. I didn't find the noise too bothersome, to be honest. I left it on while I was in bed, and no, it was all right. DJ Tim says it was cooler outside, but we did go out to the car to supermarkets with its aircon on to cool down a bit for that. Yeah. Car air conditioning is very good, isn't it? Yeah. You absolutely need those. I'll have a look in a minute, Darren. What's that? Mark sent me a picture of what is supposed to be him on the bed. I doubt that very much, Mark. I mean, I know it's big, but blimey, you know. You are awful. No air conditioning in that caravan. Oh, my God, Paul and Lou. How did you cope with that? Wow. I mean, if you're going on holiday, I think you need to insist on air conditioning in a caravan if you're going on holiday, mates. Let's have a look. 0208 144 3477. Mick says we've got another heat wave coming. Well, I had heard that, actually. Anthony's there. Hello, Anthony. Oh, hello, Anthony. Anthony Mark is in the house. Hello, Anthony. 42 degrees in Australia. 3 hours after I stepped off the plane in Melbourne. I normally tan. That time I went lobster, and I'm glad I had health insurance as I was taken to an Australian hospital for dehydration. 6 hours later, feeling like a pincushion, rehydrated and spent most of my time indoors for the 3 weeks I was there. Cold showers every day. Oh, Anthony. Oh, Lord. Did you go sunbathing? Is that why? You see, you don't always need to be sunbathing to get burnt. I mean, even just walking around. Trouble is, it's very, very tempting to take your shirt or T-shirt off or something like that, isn't it, really? Mick's got air conditioning unit. Have you got the portable one there? Have you got one of the portable ones there? Fran says, I heard the fires were started by arson in roads, not climate change. Could well be. Hello to Rebel Bert. Evening to you. Welcome along to Rebel Bert. And Debbie Plowman's in the house. Good evening, Debbie. Hello, my darling. We're all here today, aren't we? Nice to have so many of you along. Anthony says apparently there's fires now in Gran Canaria near an animal sanctuary. Oh, those poor animals. Those poor animals. Oh, dear. Makes you very sad. Hello to, who is that? OEOV. Oh, I know who that is. OEOV. How do I say that? I don't know. Like the fan on also drown out neighbours' spontaneous noises. You got a portable one, 600 quid, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good one. 600 quid, that'd be quite powerful, that one. Shania's there, who's watching in Poland this evening. Good evening, Shania. She's on a little thing in Poland. Hello to you, darling. And Mark from the Northeast is with us today. Oh, yeah, that's from you there. Yeah, I saw that there. Just read that one out. Mark from the Northeast, 42 degrees in Australia. Gosh. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? I think the hottest I've ever felt was, again, funnily enough, Mark, in Australia. And I was with my cousin. We'd gone on a little bit of a day out. She's from here. She happened to be over there at the same time. So we met up and we got the boat. One of those wonderful boats, one of those green boats from Sydney to Manly, which is not far. And we had a nice time walking around there, and I was getting quite hot. And I had to keep going in shade, when there was like shops. It's not an awful lot in Manly, I don't think. But anyway, we had a good time. And we came back. And we got off this boat and we're walking back to the main Sydney shopping centre. We thought we'd go and have a look around in some shops or something. And as I'm walking there was no shade really, and the sun was right on me. And I've not got a lot of hair in the middle now, so should always have a hat on really. And I was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And I felt myself going. I said, "Oh, we need to get inside now." "Oh, well, we'll just go around." I said, "No, Helen, we need to go in now." And we made our way over to the shopping centre. And as the doors opened, oh my God, that cold air hit me. And I found a chair, and it was a beanbag type chair. And I literally fell into this chair. And that was it for 45 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes. It was so hot. I don't know how hot it was, but that's the hottest I've ever experienced. I mean, I've been hot at work. I was at Central Station. I think it was last year, one particular day last year. I was in Central Station doing the karaoke there, and I started feeling a little bit faint. It was so hot in there, but I carried on. It's funny, when you're at work, you kind of try and carry on, and sort of ignore the heat, but you can't always. And it does get very hot in there. I keep telling them, or requesting that someone cleans out this filter, which I can't get to because you've got to climb in a hole, but still no one's doing it, and I think that's probably what it is. Vera says where she is now, it's 24 degrees in the room I'm in now. Oh, that's nothing, 24 degrees, Vera. What you chatting about, girl? Come on. Paul and Lou. It's funny, it was freezing when we started out driving down to France, because, of course, they went over when we had gales and rain here. Do you remember that last week? That's when they went over, and they went from that into the really hot weather. They say it was funny, it was freezing when we started out. I drove down to Portsmouth, 11 hours crossing in a force 9 wind, gales, then boiling hot, all the seasons in 1 week. Yeah, gosh. Here! There's people asking Shania to bring them back cigarettes. No, she can't, Gary Ross. Cheeky gits. Oh, dear. Yeah, that was the hottest I got. Right, let's play you another song, boys and girls, here on Reach on Air. Where are we now?
I'll wait till the morning. I'll fight this alone. On my road to ruin, I'll follow you home. Whenever we'll get there, we'll start with a name. 2 kinds of behavior. I'll take 3 for the team and play again. You showed me the fire in the desert sun. I felt the desire and the warring had begun. When all this is over, I really wanna know, is this a disaster or a monumental hope? Oh, I'll cherish my demons and lead them to fire. Most of the time I hear angelic choirs. Oh, with you I'm weak, but I'm nothing without you. Can anyone show me a way not to lose you? Someday, someday. Be still and be patient in the dead of the night. We're all different people all throughout our lives. Like a breath on a mirror, we're fading away. Is this the end of the beginning, or is this just a trick to make us stay? I'll cherish my demons and lead them to fire. Most of the time I hear angelic choirs. Oh,
Last chance to call in if you wanted to call in tonight. It's 020 8144 3477. And we'll close that phone line fairly soon. We've only had one call tonight, which was very good. Thank you, Vera. 020 8144 3477 is my local London number. And a food story next for you. Tuesday night. Thanks very much to Darren for sending me Twink Barbie, which is quite good. I thought you would have superimposed yourself there, Darren. Twink Barbie. Quite like the sound of that. Twink Barbie. Anyone want a Twink Barbie, maybe? Anyway, boys and girls, crazy food. Crazy food. Anyone known of any crazy food? So I came across this picture at the weekend of ketchup ice cream. Heinz ketchup ice cream. And I wonder if any of you ever tried something like that. Or anything else that's a bit strange. I mean, even to me, I think, it's salted caramel stuff. When I first saw that, and I thought, I don't think I might like that. But I did. I did actually quite enjoy it. Salted caramel and stuff like that. Is there any sort of unusual stuff that you've seen around? Or perhaps you've even tried? What would that be? Send us a message and let me know about it. On the ITV website, a London shop is serving up an eccentric collection of ice creams, including these flavours. Crumpet. Oh yes, crumpet flavoured ice cream. Tomato ketchup. And soy sauce. Soy sauce ice cream. The Ice Cream Project concept store opened for business in Knightsbridge, featuring some unlikely food brands. The creation comes from fashion designer who expects her eclectic mix of desserts to be in high demand. Flavours also include rice pudding, so rice pudding ice cream. Yeah, I might go along with that one. Peas ice cream. Oh, I don't know about that. Peas ice cream. Oh, God. Pickle ice cream, peanuts ice cream, and sea salt ice cream. Now, the question is, are any of those appealing to you at all? Do you fancy trying anything like that? It says, we're delighted that our shop is extremely popular in the afternoons. It sometimes means long queues, particularly at weekends, and we might not be able to serve everyone before closing time. And I can see it there. Branston pickle ice cream. I mean, who thinks of that sort of thing there? Oh, thanks, Janice. Janice has sent me a tip tonight. Thank you very much, Janice. You're very kind to this ageing DJ sitting here in front of you to send me 99 pence. Thank you very much, darling. There you go. Janice, thank you very much. A pink ice cream cone for me. Thank you, Janice. You're very kind, darling. Anyone else want to try any of that stuff there? Anthony, I don't know the songs that you hear on Facebook or YouTube. They're kind of in the system and I'm not quite sure what they are. DJ Tim says a local custom milkshake shop has a sign outside asking people to stop asking for tuna milkshakes. Oh, no. Tuna milkshakes? Who would want one of those? They do not and will never make them. They're trying to figure out, is it a publicity stunt or real, knowing the town? Is it real or not? Nasty. That does sound particularly nasty. How about this, Mick Davenport? A Greg's Steak Bake Ice Cream? No. Mark, if it was yours, yes. Absolutely. Gosh. Anyway, it's time to go, boys and girls. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. Our YouTube viewers are going now. Thank you very much, YouTubers. I'll see you next week at 9 o'clock. Here.